What's the deal? What's the deal? What's the deal? Shout out to everybody coming through, man. We about to get this trunk news in and we monetize. So yeah, man, make sure y'all come in and hit that like button, share this out. Shout out to YouTube for making this possible. Let's go and turn on them commercials real quick. That's the best part of the show when you can turn them commercials on, man. We got a check on the way and we ain't even been hustling, dog. We got a check on the way and we ain't even been hustling, man. That quiet money, man. I'm trying to tell you. hmm That quiet money, dog. We ain't been hustling. We been chilling, staying out the way. Shout out to everybody, man. What's up with y'all, man? Don't be no hater, bro. Yeah, I know it's little Travis line, so I know how it get. People don't want to support the best. Chilling, but hey, it's okay. You know what I'm saying? All right, we got trunk news, man. Make sure y'all double tap that screen, hit that like button for me, man. We got trunk news coming up, seeing what truck talking about, man.
Good evening. Before we begin, I'm proud to report that our country is safer, stronger, and far wealthier than it has ever been before. We are doing great. Less than 2 years ago, we inherited an economic and social disaster after the worst inflation in 48 years, the wide open borders with millions and millions of people pouring in from all over the world, including criminals of all types, and 11,888 murders, many of whom killed more than one person. We had transgender for everybody, men and women's sports, crime ravaging our cities, and the whole world was laughing at us as a nation, but not anymore. 2 years ago, our country was dead. Now we are the hottest country anywhere in the world. America is respected like we have never been respected before. We have more money being invested in the United States than at any time in the history of our country. More Americans are working today than ever before. This week, it was announced that inflation saw the largest monthly decline in more than 6 years. Just happened. It was just given out. The media reported it, and we accept it. The best in 6 years. The tax cuts in our great, big, beautiful bill are saving hardworking families thousands and thousands of dollars. Like with the provisions, no tax on tips, no tax on overtime, and no tax on Social Security for our great seniors, along with the interest deduction on a loan used to purchase a car, but only if that car is made in America, and a 100% expensing for our job-creating businesses. Our stock markets are at their highest point in many years, but we can actually say of all time. And your 401ks, pensions, and retirement accounts are setting records every single day, the highest in history. For years, we paid the highest price for prescription drugs anywhere in the world. Now we pay the lowest price under my most favored nation's policy because I was able to get the rest of the world and the pharmaceutical companies to act responsibly. Drug prices are coming down by 70, 80, and 90%. TrumpRx.gov, this will ultimately reduce the cost of healthcare. You have to go to TrumpRx.gov and take advantage of it. But the cost of healthcare is coming way down because of what we've done with prescription drugs. And with Trump accounts, every child in America now has access to a tax-free investment account to save for their future. Billions and billions of dollars are being invested, put in by companies and individuals to take care of our children so that at age 18, they will have potentially hundreds of thousands of dollars in their account, and they'll get off to a great start in life. So for that, go to trumpaccounts.gov and sign up your child or any child who'd like to sign up. Our previously wide open borders have been transformed into the most secure borders in the history of our country, with zero illegal aliens being admitted to the United States in the past 14 months. That is zero. Nobody thought it was possible. We had the worst border in the history of our country, and now we have the best. Crime is plummeting nationwide, with the murder rate at its lowest level since 1900, or more than 125 years ago. We're making a record investment in our armed forces, and we have the strongest and most powerful military by far anywhere in the world. I built it during my first term, and unfortunately, we're forced to use it now. We won in Venezuela, which is now working with us to produce millions and millions of barrels of oil. We are likewise winning big in Iran, and you will see the fruits of that labor very, very shortly. America is back and doing really well, but we still have a major challenge that must be urgently addressed, because no country can be great without fair and honest elections. You have to trust your country, because if there can be no trust, there can be no greatness. And that's very simple. No trust, no greatness. For many years, I've called for bold, swift, and decisive action to protect the integrity of America's elections. Every American deserves to know that when they cast their vote, that vote will be counted accurately in a system, and that is to make that system secure, one where cheating and interference are not just difficult, but virtually impossible. Unfortunately, the system we have today falls catastrophically short of that standard. Tonight, I'm announcing the immediate declassification and release of critical intelligence revealing shocking vulnerabilities in our election infrastructure. This evidence shows that the election system we have dangerously exposes, and really exposes like levels never thought possible, to hacking, exploitation, and foreign interference. Just as disturbingly, this vital information has for many years been covered up and hidden from you, the American people, our beautiful, our great American people. But that all changes right now. The documents we will release starting tonight have been gathered by the White House Government Transparency Task Force, a great group of people, along with the staff of the President's Intelligence Advisory Board, supported by our top intelligence agency chiefs, who have all personally reviewed the findings. We are presenting this evening and fully confirmed their authenticity. You can see these documents for yourself at whitehouse.gov. That's whitehouse.gov. Go check it out. Our purpose in disclosing this information is not to weaken confidence in election, but to earn that confidence by confronting vulnerabilities and correcting them very, very quickly. And that's what we're doing. The documents cover 5 major areas of concern. First, they show that over a period of years, starting during the 2020 election cycle, the People's Republic of China carried out what is believed to be the largest compromise of election data in history, resulting in China's illicit acquisition of 220 million U.S. voter files. That information includes names, addresses, phone numbers, political party preferences, and other sensitive data that would be needed to register to vote and engage in other nefarious activities, which is exactly what was happening. This data loss presents an unprecedented election security nightmare. The intelligence even shows that China assigned a data exploitation unit specifically to this new project. Compounding the travesty, the second set of documents we are releasing reveals that members of the deep state, very, very famous group of people, in many cases, in our intelligence agency work to actively suppress and downplay information about the extent of China's sinister election meddling. covering it up from both the president and the American people like nobody thought was possible. U.S. spy agencies began learning about the compromise of voter registration files in 2020 when they discovered that tens of millions of voter data, think of that, tens of millions of voters' data in 18 states have been bought, stolen, or hacked by China. Yet those responsible for sounding the alarm instead kept the information secret and hidden. They did not disclose to me as president or to anyone else, and to the best of our knowledge, they did not inform Congress. In fact, all they kept saying is, this is the most secure election in the history of our country, a standard, very pat line that was divvied out to say. The cover-up of this colossal security breach is even more disturbing in light of the additional information showing that China engaged in other election-related activities to undermine my first administration and our 2020 campaign. They did not want, and they just didn't want it. They fought like hell not to have it, Donald Trump, to win, and for good reason. As the documents we are releasing show, CIA reporting explicitly stated, and I quote, in mid-2018, the Chinese Communist Party's policy was to leverage all domestic and foreign elements that were opposed to the U.S. president in an effort to reduce the U.S. president's votes and make him resign or prevent his reelection. Isn't that nice? Also, in mid-2018, China was working to influence the results of the U.S. midterm elections and later the results of the 2020 presidential election itself. Separately, in mid-2019, the Chinese government's strategy against the United States was focused on undermining domestic confidence in the U.S. president. They wanted to just make you sound like your president wasn't so hot, when actually your president has done a great job. And they did everything possible to do exactly that. Going on, this document says, and this is by the CIA, the strategy included efforts to use Chinese contacts with big U.S. companies to influence U.S. business leaders to turn against the President of the United States of America. The Chinese government sought to identify U.S. journalists who had reported negatively on the U.S. president and pay them large sums of money to write more negative articles about him, as many as they could, and they didn't care what they said. The Chinese government wanted U.S. president to lose the next election, and the reason they wanted me to lose is because they knew I was wise to them, charged them billions and billions of dollars worth of tariffs, and built the strongest military anywhere in the world. We have the strongest military anywhere in the world. These are exact quotes from the CIA reporting. The name of the person doing the quote is now under review, but it gets even worse. Raw intelligence obtained by the FBI in 2020, yet buried by rogue bureaucrats, stated that China's activities even included an attempt to manufacture illegal ballots for Joe Biden. Documents show that during this period, dozens of significant CIA and NSA reports about China's election targeting were kept out of the presidential briefing. These were briefings I would get almost every day. Everything was kept out that was of importance. One email among intelligence analysts admitted that they had, quote, deliberately massaged the presidential daily briefing to withhold information regarding Chinese activities related to the election. Another official inside the FBI wrote that she was running, quote, a shadow government, unquote, to keep intelligence about China's election meddling from becoming known and to keep it away from the honorable press. Other officials who witnessed such efforts perceived the motivations to be blatantly political. Recently, we found significant numbers of burn bags in formation, and this is a group of bags that were used to destroy information given by President Barack Hussein Obama to be burned. It was supposed to be burned. These bags were supposed to be at a different level by different people, incinerated and checked, but it never happened. Maybe we got lucky. We believe this was not done on purpose, but rather through gross incompetence of the people that were supposed to burn the bags. But the findings are stunning. Today, I'm asking the Office of the Director of National Intelligence, the Department of Justice, the FBI, and the CIA to investigate how and why such crucial information was hidden, to fire those involved in the cover-up, and to file criminal charges, if appropriate, against these people. Yet concealing China's meddling was only the beginning. The third set of documents we are releasing proves that for many years, Americans were blatantly lied to about the security of our election infrastructure, including electronic voting machines and ballot counting systems, dishonest, almost all. They're vulnerable and they're easily compromised, and people within our government knew that. Tonight, we're publishing a series of previously classified U.S. intelligence community assessments and other reports proving that our government has long known these machines are extremely exposed to attack. As one assessment states, we judged that the United States adversaries, including at a minimum Russia, China, Iran, North Korea, as well as non-state groups, have the capability to compromise U.S. election infrastructure. That's unquote, but that's some statement, isn't it? Made by supposedly great patriots of our country. The document goes on to further state that, quote, we assess that centralized election-related data repositories, such as voter registration databases, poll books, and other official election websites, are most vulnerable to exploitation, and adversaries could use this access to these systems to disrupt election processes within the United States of America. Tonight, we're releasing all of those findings, and spanning from January 2020 to June 2026. This is a cyber threat aimed at the very heart of our democracy. Many people have questioned whether it could actually be possible to electronically manipulate vote totals or change election results on these terrible machines. Today, we are releasing documents that show the CIA obtained reporting of a specific plot to do a big number in favor of the corrupt Maduro regime in Venezuela. And that's exactly what happened, conspiring to digitally rig their own country's elections in 2020, and that's what they did. This reporting included precise details about methods to regime develop to digitally alter vote totals in ways that could not be detected even with an audit, no matter how deep they went. This intelligence underscores why we must take urgent action to ensure that our own system can never, ever be hacked or compromised like it was in the past. The fourth set of documents reveals that even when significant evidence of fraud has been detected, it has been buried and covered up. Among the disclosures tonight are FBI files detailing evidence of alleged fraud by a large-scale voter registration operation in Michigan. In 2020, Michigan State Police raided a Democrat Get Out the Vote organization, corrupt group in Muskegon. And we're so concerned by what they found. They were just so concerned. They couldn't believe it, actually, that they contacted the FBI in Detroit. The documents state that some canvassers admitted to FBI agents that they signed voter registration forms in other people's names, submitted fraudulent registration for people who did not exist, and received gift cards tied to their number of applications that they produced. In other words, it was pay, play, and cheat. The FBI agents working on the case believe that crimes were committed, yet the Biden Department of Justice slow-walked the investigation and killed it. Tonight, I'm asking the FBI director to ensure that the matter is fully investigated and to work with the Department of Justice to prosecute those responsible for any crimes. Finally, to reveal just how vulnerable our elections continue to be, we are releasing the results of a stunning investigation by the Department of Homeland Security. According to the DHS review, state voter rolls and public records, they identified approximately 278,000 non-citizens who are registered to vote in federal elections. Since Democrat states refuse to share their voter files, the real number is actually much higher than that. Yet, even this limited analysis found more than 250,000 foreigners illegally registered to vote. Put together, these disclosures reveal an election system so broken and so vulnerable that no one can possibly defend it. It is not defensible. Hundreds of millions of U.S. voter files are in the hands of foreign governments. Our machines and ballot counting systems are exposed to hacking and manipulation and corruption. China and other countries have been trying to meddle in our elections. Evidence of fraud has been buried. Hundreds of thousands of non-citizens and dead people are listed and active on the voter rolls. And yet we still have elections with no voter ID, no proof of citizenship, and tens of millions of ballots floating aimlessly through the mail. As one example of the insanity, California's recent election for mayor of LA and governor was held on June 2nd, a long time ago, but it was just completed a few days ago on July 10th. Think of that, much more than 1 month. Took a month to count the votes. I wonder what they were doing. This is worse than any third world country. There's no third world country that has elections like we have. In a rare move, NBC and ABC Fake News have both said that they would not cover this speech. They knew what it was about because of the fact that they don't like the topic, because they know how corrupt our system is and they don't want to reveal it. They and others in the media are part of a plot. They want to continue this fraud for whatever reason. They want to keep it going. They want to protect the radical left. They can't have a great country, and that's true. You can't have a great country without free and fair elections. Fraud like this should mean a revocation of their licenses. They use our public multi-billion-dollar in value airways for absolutely no money.
Homie? What's going down with you?
All we want is honesty in our elections and honesty in reporting. They pay nothing for multi-billion-dollar assets. Great damage has been done to our country. Our elections were left vulnerable to being rigged and stolen, and the trust of the American people was lost. This cannot be allowed to continue. Every American, whether you're a Republican, Democrat, Independent, or otherwise, should be able to agree that we deserve the most secure, honest, and fair election system anywhere in the world. Secure elections should be a partisan, we should be together. Democrats, Republicans, Independents, everybody. And it should not be a partisan issue. It should cause to unite us, not to divide us. This should be a cause. We should be united, not divided. In light of the brand new and irrefutable information I have revealed tonight, my administration is in the process of notifying the states whose election data was compromised by the People's Republic of China and many others. We will be working closely to mitigate any harm, and we're taking swift action to ensure that sensitive voter data is better protected so we can never be bought, we can never be hacked, and we can never watch a stolen election again. Tomorrow, the Secretary of Homeland Security will hold a briefing to outline his department's recent work confirming cyber vulnerabilities in our electronic voting systems. They are bad. We're in the process of informing governors, senators, and members of Congress of potential issues in their states. If you look at voting today, it's in such bad shape in so many states, and we are committing to fix it. And we're also committing to be working with those states and local jurisdictions to help them fix and patch known technical vulnerabilities before the midterm elections. We have very important elections coming up. We want those elections to be honest. I've also ordered DHS to notify every state about non-citizens on their voter rolls and direct them to remove all ineligible voters from the lists immediately. But most importantly, addressing this crisis of election security demands that Congress must pass the Save America Act. How easy is that to do unless you want to cheat? The only reason you wouldn't do it is you want to cheat because your policies are so bad and your candidates are so pathetic that you can't get away or can't get elected any other way. This landmark bill requires that all voters must show photo voter ID. How simple is that? Could I have your photo, please? Photo voter ID. All voters must provide proof of citizenship. Are you a citizen of our country, please? And hopefully there will be no corrupt mail-in ballots, which if you watched California and so many other places, mail-in ballots are inherently corrupt. So you would have no mail-in ballots except for illness, disability, military deployment, or travel if you're going away on business or vacation. These reforms are urgently needed to stop the vulnerabilities that I've mentioned. To all Americans, I ask you to pick up your phone tomorrow, call your representatives in the House and Senate, and demand that they pass the Save America Act without delay. Together, we will restore faith and confidence in our country, and we will be bigger, better, and stronger than ever before. Thank you. God bless you. God bless our great military, and God bless America. Thank you very much.
Y'all see what Trump on, man. That's what Trump on. We don't know what the fuck he talking about though. But I guess, he gonna be promoting the next person. Yeah, whoever coming up, he gonna be promoting them. So since he gonna be promoting them, he want them to get a fair chance.
Do you know they got ignorant my DM talking about I broke the code? Talking about I got down on the white people. Nigga, ain't no gangster. Ain't nobody pull no straps on me, nigga. This is a contract. If you don't abide by the contract, you get sued. That's business. That's how this shit go. Y'all some ignorant motherfuckers. It's just like a record contract. If you sign a contract and if you don't abide by that contract, you get sued. Y'all think I'm too gangster to sue, motherfucker. Y'all some ignorant motherfuckers, dog. You don't abide by that contract, you don't get sued. Y'all some ignorant motherfuckers. Same thing with the party. The motherfucker sign a contract and you send somebody some money and they don't abide by that contract, by that deadline, you sue them. You tripping, bro. Like this business, bro. I sue 9, 10 people a year, bro. Like, all right.
Yo, it's Big Ant the spokesman, man. We back. Another edition of Urban Politicians TV, UPTV. Make sure you stay on your pivot at all times, man. Had to come tap in on this heavy conversation of capital C's with Boosie being caught up in this scam whirlwind where he got with a lobbying firm and paid them to provide services for him to get a presidential pardon from Donald Trump once again. Now, I was pretty much kind of over covering until they come with a new update. But then after my last video, people started coming at me about the telling conversation, the snitching when it comes to Boosie filing this lawsuit. So I said, let me address that. But then also, I see that Plies had came in and gave his opinion on it because I didn't see that at first. So I said, why not have a stab and grab at it? And what Plies came to the comment and said is he seen it circulating was, he been charging them boys for pardons and had y'all thinking he was just showing love. And he responded to the Laura Loomer conversation when she came out and said that he couldn't buy a pardon and said, you can't buy a pardon? Who she thinks she fooling? Then he also said, accuse your opponents of the exact things you're doing so you don't look worse than them. It's the playbook of the White House. Now, if you didn't know, Plies is heavy with the Democratic Party as in promoting them. Now, he's not a politician. He doesn't hold a political seat. It doesn't have real political power, but he's most definitely on the Democratic side. And when you have that much advocacy for the Democrats, anybody from afar is going to say you've been incentivized, you've been contacted, you're getting somebody out of that situation. You're not just jump out there going hard for the Democratic Party for no reason, just keeping it all the way 100. And now that I have the information that I have today and I'm not as ignorant to a lot of stuff that I was, I see the real in this game now because it was at a point in time where Boosie was criticizing Lil Wayne and Kodak Black for endorsing Trump. But now he will be willing to endorse Trump or Biden, as he went up on Twitter and said, for a presidential pardon. And this is the way that the game works, y'all. You're going to, if you could get out of prison, use the resources and reach that you have with your connections, relationships, and finances to get something that can benefit you. Even like with Jay-Z going at Trump and MAGA recently, but his CEO, Desiree Perez, had got a pardon under Trump and them. Just keeping it all the way 1,000. And Plies can say what he want to say. If he had the opportunity, more than likely, he would do the same. But there's several levels to this Boosie conversation now as it has gotten to where it has gotten to. I told the people that, hey, what Boosie did as it paid a lobbying firm, these two dudes are known scammers and fraudsters and have been arrested for this type of stuff before. That is not illegal, what he has going on. So it's not like he went and broke the law by paying them. They would be breaking the law if they went directly and said, hey, Donald Trump, we want to pay you for the pardon. Now, the language that Boosie is using, hey, I paid for the pardon, I paid for the pardon, that's most definitely illegal. You can't go pay or bribe somebody for a pardon. But the White House has no contact with them or Boosie at all. He got finesse. He got a play ran on him. But the way that he's worded it is coming off like, hey, bro, you are breaking the law. But there is certain language and certain protocol and guidelines that you can't use in this. And it is a thing where people get scammed this way. Boosie brought it on himself because he got with these two dudes who you could have easily looked up and seen, hey, this ain't the dudes that I'm going to put my trust in right here at all.
2 men at the center of a voting robocall scam in Detroit and other cities have been ordered to call back their victims.
U.S. District Court in New York ordered Jack Berkman and Jacob Wall to make the follow-up calls by 5 p.m. tomorrow, and the calls must inform victims that the message they received regarding mail-in voting was illegal and that it contained false information.
People was coming at me talking about, hey, man, what's the difference between him and Gucci? Bro, I don't be, this ain't no street gang bang, who telling, stitching paperwork party platform, bro. I just call it like it is when I see it, when it's in the news and the headlines. Boosie did not go in unless they come out and say, hey, man, Boosie, you knew we was breaking the law. Hey, Boosie, you didn't come give us legal documents and we didn't sign a contract and things of that nature. Because I did the way that Boosie was wording it at one point. I was like, hey, bro, this don't sound like it's legal. That's like bribery or something like that. But under federal law, it is protected. And you can go and pay and get with the lobbying firm to put things together for you to have a presentation for a pardon. So it's not like he went in on a crime. It ain't like he reported somebody robbing him. It ain't like he reported somebody jacking him or doing some harm to him. This was a legally binding contract. But I know that people ain't trying to hear that. They want to go at Boosie. Boosie has brought this stuff on himself because of he's jumped and called everybody else, hey, you told, you ain't sticking to the code, then he's moved the goalposts for other people in the past. I don't care about that stuff, y'all. I want that to be clear. I do believe that you should stand on being a man and what you signed up for, and you should take accountability and responsibility for your deed, and what you did, that's how I was raised, and you don't sacrifice nobody else to save yourself. I stand on that. But Boosie, him advocating so hard online for this over the years, it's going to turn into that. At the end of the day, Boosie got a play ran on him. He had the connection directly to the doggone White House with Angela Stanton King, who is the goddaughter of one of Martin Luther King's nieces, who is working directly with the people. That's how Boosie got to the White House. So why he didn't wait it out, and she called him out about that herself, like, bro, you wouldn't put the money in these dudes' hands. And Boosie ended up getting probation anyways, and you on probation right now. Now he want this $300,000 back because of the wording in the contract. $300,000 is non-refundable. So he's like, well, hey, this means the other $300,000 is. Boosie got and y'all seen it online. He got that play ran on him like The Wire. I wouldn't want that to happen to nobody. It ain't right to do that to nobody. But they see them coming from a mile away. Hey, like Ava Barksdale say, you playing them away games, man. They see your hood behind coming from a mile away, and they Clive Davis them. Hey, we taking all that paper. What you gonna do about it? We just gonna consider it a generous donation out of this situation, because they talking about they bankrupt now. They ain't got no money, and the White House is, of course, gonna say, but we don't operate with these dudes. We don't deal with these dudes. We haven't heard nothing of the sort. It just is what it is. They see them coming from a mile away. Stay on your pivot. 1,000 for shit show. More coming.
Welcome to another episode, everyone. Big Meech unloads on internet trolls, who he believes to be internet trolls. Big Meech finally breaks his silence and tells individuals, I'm on that. If y'all keep on mentioning my name, I'm on that. Now, normally Big Meech is quiet about this sort of stuff. People have been saying that he's a rat, this, that, and the other, and he hasn't said too much. In fact, he's come out and made statements that I don't listen to the comments, I don't listen to the internet trolls. You have to have a thick skin. You can't listen to them, etc. But he's sick of it, apparently. And he's naming names and letting individuals know. You keep on popping and putting his name in y'all mouth. He on that.
Immediately. Hey. Yeah. Immediately. This is my uncle. Shout out Big Meech. Real shit.
Shout out Brian.
Shout out Brian. Shout out, yeah, that's Brian. And shout out Tito Dad. Real shit.
Now, this dude right here that's with him, he keep over talking Big Meech and just talking too much. He's annoying. Trigger warning.
His right-hand man. Real
Shout
shit.
out motherfucking L.
Shout out
Shout
L.
out motherfucking Big L.
Shout out Big L.
Shout out J-Bo. Shout out Big T.
Shout out.
Shout out Lil Dog. Shout out motherfucking everybody that's a part of the BMF family that kept it 1,000.
And guess what?
You didn't keep it 1,000. No shout out to you, bitch ass nigga. You know
Hey, look.
niggas.
Look. Keep them niggas out the picture. Real shit though.
So he about to go on one. He trying to say what he got to say. This dude here keep on trying to stop him. You can't control Meech. He said, yeah, he's still on some positive stuff, but he said he's sick of dudes popping it on his name, and he's trying to send him a message. Well, once you shut up and let him do it.
I've been here since 2000. You know what I'm saying? Like real shit.
You bitch ass niggas don't get no play in our streets.
None. We ain't saying no names. But real shit though. Like y'all know what's going
You know
on.
who you are.
The realest people,
Y'all know government informant. Are you substantial assistance niggas? All you whack 100 type bitch ass niggas don't get no playing all right. You feel me? And we ain't never worried about what you gonna do. And we not apologizing. Especially me. There's no apology. You know anything about me? I ain't worried about what you gonna do. Hey, listen, I promise you, listen. Mention your name. Indirect. Hey, I ain't worried about what the fuck you gonna do. Listen though, on some real shit. Listen, on some real shit. You don't have to pop it.
Bro, they got the music going loud, but to translate, he's saying, I ain't worried about what you're gonna do. I ain't worried about what you're gonna do. And to translate, this dude here keep tapping them and punching them, calling them up and trying to stop them from talking. Bro, get out of the way.
None of these niggas. Man, fuck these niggas. You have
That part.
You have listen, what I'm saying. There's no pop. Fuck these niggas. There's no pop. That's on some crazy shit. They don't know what the fuck they talking about. If you know what you're talking about, bring it to the table. Bring it to the table. Bring it to the table. If you know what you're talking about, if you got for everybody. From listen, pause. From 2005. No, from 2005. Any type of information that's relevant, that's real, bring it. Bring it to the table. If you don't, shut the fuck up. No, shut the fuck up. No, they don't want to do that. They don't want to do that. They don't want to do that, They don't want to do that. Like real shit. Come on, be honest. They don't want to do that, bro. They don't want to do that. You niggas is doing cold case file. That's what y'all doing. Y'all niggas doing cold case file. Nah, this I'm saying. I don't give a fuck about nobody else.
Yeah, I watched the series with 50 Cent, bro. I hate they stopped that shit, bro. That shit was live shit, bro.
Guess what?
I hate they stopped that.
He said, when the police close the case, y'all open it. Y'all doing cold case file. This dude right here, man, who is this dude? Big Meech, tighten up. You normally don't have no F ninjas around him, man. Tighten up. Who is this dude, man? Hey, this is what we on. Yeah, shut up. Bro, hit your little hookah and get your ass out of the way.
I'm gonna say this. On some real shit, fuck all that shit. Y'all see, me and on some positive shit.
Shut up.
Like real shit. Everybody that's on some bullshit, please.
You on some bullshit.
Damn it. I want to see it in the chat. Why, Felicia? We're not on that. Like, he's not on that. Real shit. Like, we're not on nothing. I'm on that for real. No, man, fuck all that. Real shit. Fuck all that negative shit. We on some positive shit, though. We are, but we on some positive shit. I'm on that. We on some positive shit. Y'all niggas be, y'all, you know what I call them? Niggas under the bridge. Yeah, do your thing. Niggas that got issues for real. You got an issue for real. I'm on that. So I promise you, while y'all on that, niggas is on some positive shit. Y'all on that negative shit, we on something positive. Real shit though, like we not on that bullshit, bro. Fuck what y'all talking about. He's not on it. I'm not on it, and none of the real members are on it.
Look, Big Meech keep trying to tell him I'm on that. He just said, if you got an issue, I'm on that. See me on the street. I am on that. Stop speaking on stuff that you don't know about, trying to solve cases. Of course, Big Meech is at least also loosely referring to these snitch allegations that individuals have put out there on him. And this dude right here, nephew, with these glasses on, bro, you got 4 eyes and you still can't read the room?